Let us leaf. Hey, I want to talk to you.
All right.
About your show and stuff like that.
Cool.
I got a branding idea that I'm trying to do, and I want to get that paperwork from you.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, I'll be up on the panel next, speaking during the lunch and learn. Get me after that. Talk.
I'm Janina. Hi, Esther. As well. This was eBay or something or other. Like it was, I think it was like $5. But it's getting worn out, so I need to upgrade.
One of these days I'll get around to ordering one. I'm always like, I don't need one. And then I come to an event like this, I'm like, I should order one.
That's okay. Are you having Sally?
No, thank you.
I met Karen and Ashley. My very first open house in her house.
Did her husband Jeff?
Yes, we're having Thanksgiving all over again. So we're not on the water. My elevator site. Looking for a house and I ran upon my first one.
No, it's kind of gross on you. You know what I mean? Because if you say to somebody, well, I have a reserve in the back, which I hear alligators at night, in all their season. But if the windows are open, and the windows like, oh my God, this is what they like the frogs, you know?
Really? I did not know that either.
Yeah.
But I think I could skip that knowledge and be perfectly okay.
But you know, you come across an alligator, you tell somebody, say, oh, well, I just walked by, I said, you must be kidding. But it doesn't, you know.
Yeah. See, and for me, I'm not worried, but I've got little dogs, and I'm worried about that. So that's, you know, I've heard the horror stories of those big pets. So I got a 95-pound one, good luck, but I got a little 20-pound one too.
What kind of dog do you have?
I have 3. They're all rescues. They are all weird mixes. Well, my shepherd is 20 pounds. She's stunted. We don't know what she is. And then I have a 95-pound hound that's mixed with Dane and Chow. So she'll put her hair and look at you straight in the eye with a curled tail and howls like a hound dog. Have you ever seen like a Great Dane howl? Well, I've had them. I've owned them. But do they? Yeah. You have to train her actually not to. She's got a bark collar on because I can't have anything else. The bark collar is the only way I can talk to her. I love her, but me yelling at her is not
some degree it can happen at any time because it can happen to anybody. Apparently this is like a thing. This happens a lot. I never knew about it until the part of it. Really? Well, I hate to say that.
You are that.
Yeah, well,
And I know as a man you don't like to admit that, but you are. You totally are.
what's worse is that you can't do anything about it. So do you just go on unemployment and not work?
Well, you can't even do like a defamation of character thing.
All I get is a judgment. That doesn't stop it. That actually makes it worse.
Makes them pissed off.
Watch me cut in line. Nobody's seen it.
Yeah, well,
We're allowed.
We'll cut you.
Will you cut me?
We're not afraid.
Oh, like I've never been cut before.
So I haven't seen you in years, but I used to go to Surreal all the time. I was the realtor, would Tagger Realty. My last name used to be Courier, but it is
Did you ever see me there?
many times. It was with like Jack Griffin and Pete Fortunato and that whole
Pete's my good friend.
yeah. The whole
Look, see, you're being watched.
How are you? What's your name?
I took these two golfing.
See what?
It was quite a fest. We took them with Dan. We took them out to Carolina.
Will they ever let us back in?
They loved it. Well, they
Mr. View is still around in
Oh yeah.
The keys.
Oh, they're still around.
yes. Yeah, we got out there quick.
I think Chris is.
It's a shadow of what it used to be. But. Huh? Dave.
Well, no, they, on the ninth hole, they were like falling over, and they were on like the ninth tee box. I think they were going to bet lead to swim across the lake. That was
Just a bit of fun. What can I say?
gotta have a good time.
Live to tell the story.
That's right.
I realized they had art.
Oh, that is nice. I just want that one.
I know, like, can you get it?
Just the nose, crossing the finish line. Or the horse.
I was gonna say, send that as a gift.
Take mine. Yeah, is that one part?
They've already been looking at how agent
So I hear you're minus the room. Alone now?
And I have a whole list. So then I'm like, okay, well, let's have a meeting with her. She's like, no, we need a meeting. This is how I work. So what happened was they had missing out on houses that they wanted because they're trying to work the way they want to work, right? And I ended up saying, basically like, well, I wish you all well with your search. I never even wish you all well with your search because it just felt like they were problematic people. Guess what? I saw on Facebook by the time they got into a property, they were under contract. They're still going through the process. They were lambasting their agent, talking about how ignorant real estate agents were, how they're worthless, all this. I knew. I knew these are not the people to work with. Now I'll say all the time, I'm just not hungry enough or something, because I'll be like, oh yeah.
No,
I'm
I would
not
do
gonna
the
work
same
with that
thing.
person.
Well, even Bob in the 100 Caves, like, you can walk away. I mean, you
can walk away. And
Yeah,
sometimes
it's
that's
not
the best
worth
thing
it.
you can
It's
do.
not worth it
Right.
sometimes.
I think they're going to need more salad because I think I'm going to take a lot.
That was going to be me and Christine. We were buying everything in Tampa at the time. And then I got called back and forth. So things changed at time. Is everybody on video?
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Yeah, we never record these, but we're recording this one.
So if you walk by and you can't see yourself, are you truly a vampire? I didn't see myself.
of anybody interested in a property with a boat slip in Dunedin.
Dunedin boat slip?
Yep.
I don't know. Possibly.
All right.
Possibly.
But then your pipe and smoke it, please.
It's a good pipe to smoke. Why don't you give me your name and information? Just give me a card, and I'll check and see if I have anybody. Okay?
Yep. It's a good, clean, good heated boat slip.
I was kidding. I mean, I didn't even get my best
Up to a 30-foot boat.
Very cool.
Any problems with it all?
Nope, they already bought a house. I didn't realize they find a house so fast.
This market is a curious thing.
Yes, we did. Let's do one tonight. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, yeah, we got them up front, so yeah, we got them up front. So I'm gonna talk about the intro real quick. People that are interested.
Okay, everyone. I hope everyone either got lunch or is about to. Have a seat. This is very casual. Whatever questions you have, or anyone sitting up here, or really anyone in the room, they are here to answer them. In case you haven't noticed, we've been having some audio issues. So I may not have a mic to pass around, so you may have to kind of yell your question, or we can repeat it. So ask away. Okay. It is time for questions. And the first one is coming from Joni. You're in the process of closing. The trade is a 3-day process. So you're waiting 2 weeks longer than you expected to. Are we talking loan commitment or title commitment? Jamie knows a little bit about things, how they sell their property, and the problems they create on every deal.
Well, from the time that you give a title order to a title company, I mean, it's going to be about a 10-day to 15-day close. It takes time for a lien search to come in. I mean, that's all done. Then as long as the loan documents are to the title company, yeah, there's no reason why you can't close. I don't know what ended up would be in that situation. Then, yeah, it's not a bank property that you said. Yeah. So there's no reason why I can't close if the title company's got their lien search, municipal search, whatever, and that. I mean, a title company can realistically close in 7 to 10 days. That's about as long as that stuff takes. No reason why it shouldn't.
Usually always have it.
I'm sure that's part of the title contingency paragraph in the standard contract.
There's 2 transactions we're talking about. The first one is, the question relates to what Victoria and I were going over And on a foreclosure to an investor, you're going to have two transactions. One is certificate of title, putting your investor into title. Let's assume it's an investor since this meeting's about. And the next sale, or the next transfer or conveyance of title is going to be from that investor to another user, whether it's an end user or whatever. The big difference there is the underwriters, so the Stewart Titles and Fidelities of the world, they don't want to not share some exposure. And you may not know this, but every time a seller executes a warranty deed to a buyer, they are guaranteeing, that's what warranty means, they're guaranteeing the passage of clear title to that buyer. So when you take title with a certificate of title, the county does not do that. There's no, it's a quick claim deed in essence. And it says, here's the property, everything good about it, everything bad about it, here you go. So at that point, that's the point of exposure for that flipper, for that investor, because he or she is then going to turn around and sell it with a warranty deed, which the underwriter is comfortable insuring that buyer because they're sharing the risk with that seller because he's guaranteed the passage of that title. Where I've gotten Stewart Title to get to with my agency is, let's go back a little bit and let's get that first transaction, that first conveyance insured. And I was just speaking with Victoria, who had to leave. It's not break the rules. Let's get that first one insured, and how do we do that? We have to, with them, they have to approve it. So they're going to go through the entire foreclosure process to make sure everything was done perfectly. And basically, they'll do the same thing as they would do for a lender trying to foreclose that needed to have all that same title stuff done to say, okay, you have an effective foreclosure and you can move forward. So the number that she and I came up with as far as time is 2 weeks. So if you have a property that you want to purchase or your investor wants to purchase and you want coverage from a title company, and I really doubt that the other companies are doing this because apparently I thought of it. So give us 2 weeks or more and say, okay, in 18 days here's a property that's going for auction sale, and during that time we'll send it to Stewart Title. I don't know what they're going to charge yet. Probably something like $75 or $100. That has to be paid. So it's I look at it as if you want to do it the right way, the investors that will take it, they'll be savvy enough to say, okay, let's give these people 2 weeks. Those are the same investors that don't mind spending $75 or $100 to make sure the property is something that can be insured. So 2 weeks.
Speaking along the lines of title and REOs, just a good tip that probably all may not even realize that you don't know. I sell the VA properties. I'm one of the VA brokers. And has anybody in the realtor mark seen prior to seller receipt of the title package, property will be conveyed via a quick claim deed? Have you seen that? Okay. Be mindful of that. The VA insures servicers, and when they take a property back to the claim, they conduct an internal title review that can take 3 to 4 months. Until that internal title review is done, they will only convey via a quick claim deed. A quick claim deed means the seller is relinquishing any interest they had in the property. They're not guaranteeing you anything. They're not even guaranteeing you that they own the property. So it's very important also to find a title company that is going to insure a quick claim deed that is provided by the Secretary of Veteran Affairs. Some title companies will not because they don't have that general warranty assurance, because if the title does come back flawed, they have no recourse against the seller because the seller didn't guarantee anything through the use of a quick claim deed. So very common, and also very common that probably I would say in my inventory, 1 in 7 properties conveys back to the servicer. So if you're ever dealing with an REO agent and they use the word conveyance, reconveyance, that comes up with HUD and comes up with the VA, means they're sending the property back to the bank that sent it to them. Think of it as a bad insurance claim, because HUD and the VA insures lenders. If the claim is not good or valid, they send it back to them. So part of that 3 to 4 month period that they're doing their internal title review, they can find something and send it back to the servicer. All the while, they'll put the property on the market. We'll have properties under contract, and then we have to convey it back to the servicer. Very frustrating part of the business. I would say I've sold properties for 40, 45 different banks. The VA is the worst for conveyance. HUD not so much, but the VA so much. Now, if it does say that the convey be via a warranty deed, a special warranty deed, you don't have to worry about that. That means their title review has been done, they will be able to convey the property. But the majority of the VA properties are on the market prior to even certificate of title being issued to them. And again, just a big mess that I find myself into all the time because how the VA does business.
Okay, the question is, what is the procedure to put your home into a land trust? And the second one was, you have a property that's in an LLC. What's the procedure to put that into a land trust? Question number one, your personal residence in Florida, in my opinion, should never go into a land trust. It's better in your name, because we're lucky enough with homestead laws here that the home can't be taken away from you. That's why O.J. Simpson put $12 million into a house in Miami, so he couldn't lose it. If you put it into a land trust, the trust could be penetrated and the asset taken away. So your personal home, better off in your own name. If you have a property in an LLC, you have to deed it into the trust. The managing member or the manager has to deed the property to a trustee who owns the property. But the problem with that is you have documentary stamps based on $7 per thousand of value. Now, you already have an LLC, you do have some protection. If it's a multi-member LLC, you have charging order protection, which is very valuable. If it's a single member, it's you. And if you do something wrong, the property could be taken. So understand, if it's already has some protection, because the land trust is not in of itself asset protection. But we can make it asset protection simply by putting it, making the beneficiary something that is like an LLC or a family limited partnership. Was that clear? The question is, when I form an LLC, or a land trust, do I do that one for each individual property or just one for multiple properties? I do a land trust for every property for the simple reason. If you put them all in one trust, if there's ever a law action against it, a lawsuit, and it's penetrated, you bared all your assets. By putting them in individual land trusts, nobody knows. Because you use different different trustees, different beneficiaries, your name doesn't appear in public record. It can be. The owner is going to be the LLC. It can be. It can be a person, an entity, a corporation, or an LLC. It can be a living trust. It can be a personal property trust. It can have multiple beneficiaries. But what you don't understand about the trust in Florida, like many other states, the trustee owns the property. The beneficiary doesn't own the real estate. The trustee owns the legal and equitable interest in the property for the benefit of the beneficiary, because they get the money from it and they pay the taxes on it. But most people don't realize that the trust or the beneficiary doesn't own the real estate. But it can be anything you want. I'm never a trustee. I'm never a beneficiary, because you would assume I am. So I want to make sure if your attorney ever comes after me thinking I am, they're going to be wrong, and you're writing checks to that attorney to find out they were wrong. Because unless you've actually read the last page of the trust document that has the names of the beneficiaries, nobody in the world knows who the beneficiary is. So people can assume, I had a question earlier, I own a property, I deed it into a trust, aren't they going to know I'm the beneficiary? No, because you may not be the beneficiary. You can make someone else. It would only be an assumption that you're the beneficiary. You can make your living trust the beneficiary. That's not you. How expensive are do the land trusts? If you go to an attorney, it's going to be $500 to $1,500 each. A land trust is 4 sheets of paper. How many sheets of paper in a ream? 500 divided by 4 pages. I can do 125 trusts for $6 plus the ink. When you have the document, you know what goes in just the simple spaces. Very easy to do. Did I answer your question, or did I babble on?
Question for Jamie. I've heard that HUD is now moving away from wet signatures to electronic signatures, and that they're also, the two companies are now becoming one. Can you elaborate?
Yeah, they've actually allowed electronic signatures during this last contract. Ofori and Associates would allow them, but Home Telos and PEMCO would not. So it's up to the individual servicer whether or not. So yeah, as part of this new contract, I'm not sure what Sage is going to do. That new contract is just kind of taken over as of May 1st. So yeah, there is only one service provider or asset manager, I should say, for HUD in the state of Florida now. That is Sage, which is a joint venture of PEMCO and Rain & Company, Home Telos and Ofori. Ofori's been out of the business since beginning of January. Home Telos still has inventory that they're burning through, and but yeah, you're going to see some changes. You're going to see some new agents involved and some new processes. But yeah, you'll probably see electronic signatures more in play in this new contract.
I'm currently under contract right now for HUD property, and I didn't get the contract in time by one day, and they're like, nope.
Yeah, they are sticklers for those time frames. So if you ever get a bid awarded to you, and they say the 48 business hours, yeah, make sure you stick to it. You can sometimes you request an extension, they may give you 1 day, but they are stickler for those time frames. You're welcome.
So the question was more workshops for the cash flow games?
Maybe describe what that is first.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know, Cash Flow Guys, the brand, it's on my shirt here. We have a podcast, and we take a little different approach to real estate, where you got a lot of the gurus. Larry hates being called a guru, but the gurus, they'll charge these people $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 to learn how to invest in real estate. Well, I'm a real estate agent. I can teach you how to invest in real estate, and that's what Jill and I built, was the Cash Flow Guys brand. So we host cash flow events here locally. A lot of the FHR agents and the Coldwell Banker agents have been. And we are planning on doing some additional locations. However, we do the events for free. We don't charge people to come to the events. Obviously, there's a lot of benefit for us. It's a great way to meet both buyers and sellers. We also meet passive investors there as well, so it's a win-win for everybody. We're currently doing them over in Odessa, off of Gun Highway. And we're doing them in Tarpon Springs. We are looking for a venue in St. Pete, and one of the local IRA companies have approached us because Jill and I do a lot of work with IRA investors, helping them invest in real estate with their IRAs. We spend a lot of time finding the right people on the team to help them get through that process, the attorneys and whatnot. So probably Advanta IRA will be our next location down in Largo in the St. Pete, Clearwater area. So that's what we're looking for coming soon.